I ask for the truth on behalf of Sharni Ryan concerning love issues, and I ask for guidance and insight in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the crow, the carrier of souls from darkness into light. And blessed be to the truth always. And we just cut the deck there for you, Sharni. And I'll just pop the things to the side here. And I'll deal out 3 cards for you. The first card we shall deal is in the possession of your recent past. This is a period of time between now and roughly this time last month. The recent past influence. The present influence, we just pop down there. That's around about nowish, in the sense of about 3 days behind, 3 days ahead. That sort of time period. And the next final card there we just pop down is in the possession of the immediate future. This is a period of time between now and this time next month, isn't it? So it's a bit like a timeline on Facebook or something, isn't it? Or Twitter or something. Beginning, middle and end of story, that's what it is. Let's pull out the first card and let's see what the crow has for you here. Crow is king in this tarot deck, and we just pull out the first card here, and we'll just bring it round just so you can see it there, and I'll just flip it over nice and slowly, not to disturb its energy, just nice and steadily there. And notice here we've got the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands. That's an interesting turn up for the books, isn't it? Or the cards. Leo, Sagittarius and Aries vibrating there with that. What's that all about? It appears as though really for you just recently, I don't know what's been going on here, but certainly once my reading glasses fall on the floor, good job it was a stronger pair, not the white, the slightly weaker pair that I use for this occasion. Something else to pick up later. But talking about picking things up, it looks as though, I don't know if anything's been dropped, or in your case as well here, but certainly when you take a look at that card, you can see there's a lot of, I suppose, mist in the background there. The beetle there is there, of course. I suppose the Egyptians believed that the scarab beetle, that type of beetle, was the one that created the world, because it rolls dung up in a ball, and that's they believed that the earth was round before we even knew it, if you get what I mean. But this particular thing, other than that sort of vibration in the past, the beetle, I suppose lives a private life, but in this particular case can represent secrets. I don't know what secrets, skeletons in the cupboard, I don't know if there's something, is it secrets, that's something that you were keeping from somebody else, or something that's been kept from you. Clearly you asked about love, and everything's going okay for you, except you just haven't got anybody in your life at the moment. But just recently, I mean, obviously you've asked here for guidance, but have you been asking before? Is it a constant thing, or is it just something you've suddenly decided to ask about because you thought, I wonder if I can ask about it? And obviously then there's a reason why, isn't there, why you've asked at this particular time here. That's what I'm sort of getting there. I'm looking onto this here, this symbol here, although it isn't a symbol of a resistor, because a resistor is a rectangle along on a line, isn't it? The new symbol, as it's been for a few decades there, but the old is a sort of a spike, wasn't it? Spiky line. But this is like a bit of a heartbeat symbol, but I'm sort of nevertheless focusing on resistance, as if the earthly effect of it is resistance. Although it isn't a symbol of a resistor, it's making me think of that just looking at that. It could be a symbol of a heartbeat, it could be some occult symbol as I'm unfamiliar with, but either way, that's what it's making me think of when I'm looking at it. I'm looking at like what looks like dead leaves. I don't know if that's what it's representing now, but certainly here, like I don't know if I just show you that there. Like dead leaves just at that top wall, as you can see, top right for you, top left for me, because I'm looking at the mirror image of it. But at the moment, this top left thing here, the dead leaves in the usually a tarot deck. This is not a traditional tarot deck, but usually the traditional tarot deck design is a triangle above a square, the triangle of spirit and the square of matter, in the sense of the essence of the card and then the earthly effect. And I'm sort of locking onto this, why I don't know, but like there's the dead leaves is symbolic of something there in the very essence, the very root of the situation, as you could say, is that, and then the resistance, which is above and below as well, but it's as if it's carried on from above and it's carried on to be the earthly effect, and left some sort of scar on the landscape in your situation that you're in, or whatever, and whatever this why I am thinking now, I don't know. I'm thinking of it, but I'll say what I'm thinking. Why I'm thinking of a death of a loved one or something like that is having an effect on, and you've been resisting somebody. It could be the death of a husband maybe, or it could be because the death of the partner, and you've decided you swore blind you'd never have anybody else, but now it's time to, or I don't know why I'm thinking that. Hopefully I'm wrong, and then nothing's happened, has it? Hopefully I am wrong on that. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong, and I won't mind being wrong on that one. But putting that aside, the secrecy, you've been keeping it a secret over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, maybe with somebody else that you've met, maybe a gentleman friend you seem to be sharing the canteen a bit more often with, or whatever it is. I honestly don't know what this is, but in the sense as though you're keeping it from somebody for maybe good reasons, either to protect yourself, to protect the memory of whoever it is, or whatever. But I swear that secret has something to do with that. Why? I'm just focusing on that dead leaf. Yes, there is, with it being a wands, of course, there's a staff with a feather on it, the staff of power maybe. Notice, of course, the element of wands, or the suit of wands, when the clock shuts up, is to do with the element of fire, which is spiritual essence. It's to do with the number 1, isn't it? The numbers 2 and 3 are to do with air, 4 to 9 is to do with water, and then 10 is the physical vehicle of earth. But of course you've got the Leo, the Sagittarius and the Aries going on there, as if you're trying to control things through secrecy. I can control it if I keep it a secret. I can control what they know and what they don't know. I can control what I tell them or what I don't tell them, or what I tell them or what I don't tell them will control the situation for me. And maybe it's worked until you've discovered really maybe opening up would have been a better option if you wanted to Not spill the beans on anything sinister or anything like that, but certainly not even to have been dishonest, but at least to have shared a bit more openly, maybe. But then again, it's your privacy, it's your private thing, and it's nothing to do with anybody else, is it? I want to pull the next card here, and I want to see what the present holds here.
It's 9
just
hours.
one moment.
This is a reminder.
Alexa,
Review CCTV
Alexa,
settings.
Alexa, shut up. She won't shut up, you know. She'll just carry on. I know she will. You see, what did I tell you? Review CCTV settings. Yes, I know. It's 9 o'clock. You've got to check the time and everything else and whatever. We'll check that later on. That's not priority at the moment. Whatever's been recorded, if anybody's been up to anything, then it will have been caught, and it'll stay there till we find it later on. Hopefully not. Let's reveal this card for you there, Sharni, for the present, and we'll just flip it over nice and slowly. This is about the last three, four days or so. Next 3 or 4 days or so, you could say, around about, couldn't you? In that regard, notice here, you've got the 8 of Swords. Check it as, yes, the 8 of Swords. A Gemini feel to it there. You notice there there's an eagle flying through the swords. Crowley refers to the 8 of Swords as the Lord of Interference. So, of course, that may be due to the fact that number 8 is to do with challenge. You have the loss of the 5, the analysis of the 6, you know, the 8 of the challenge, and then the 9 of the loss of the 6, 7, the weakness of the 7, and then the challenge to that weakness on the 8, and then of course the peak of magic at 9 and so on, and then the turnaround at number 10, like the blues, how it turns around and starts again. But in this particular case, or at least draws to some conclusion anyway, and maybe one thinking a conclusion as well, but either that's neither here nor there. At this particular point there's been a challenge to what? Well, of course, yes, the swords represents the element of air, doesn't it? We worked that out. The numbers 2 and 3 is to do with the element of air, which is to do with swords. So of course, I suppose really you could say challenging or the watery part of air. Why water? Well, of course, I remember the numbers 4 to 9 are to do with the element of water, so you could say the watery part of air, in a sense maybe adding feeling or emotion to communication, to transmissive powers in some way. And I suppose then that's when people do interfere, when people do sort of poke the nose in and get involved. This, I suppose, lends itself to that idea, doesn't it? We've got the, as you can see there, the Gemini thing going on there, and that's that within itself, I suppose. Well, that doesn't particularly mean much, but I'm sort of getting this sort of feeling as though, yes, trapped and confined, maybe. Maybe you feel a prisoner at the moment. As you can see, there, exactly this is behind bars, isn't it? As if, although the eagle may represent, is it the eagle or the condor? I don't know, but certainly, I'm sort of getting a condor energy from it. Although eagle is spirit, condor helps you to view things from a greater distance, doesn't it? In some respects, an eagle sort of helps your spirit in the sense of listening to your inner voice. But yes, there is the interference going on. Something or somebody is interfering in this situation. The secret that you've been trying to keep, it's been interfered with, and you're finding it either hard to keep that secret or hard letting them, it's difficult to sort of preventing them from finding out of their own accord, and you feel trapped and confined. Yes, in that sense, you you're ready for love or whatever, and everything's going good. If everything's going good, why would you be ready for love? I'd run from it as far as east as from the west personally, but that's my opinion. Solitude, I love solitude. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. But then again, if you've been under one another's feet, if you've been under people's feet, or you've had people under your feet for years on and beforehand, you're glad of anything to get rid of them. But laughing and joking apart, there, you are a prisoner of some kinds in this situation. You want love, but now it's time to have it. You somehow feel as though you're a prisoner to something, and that it's that thing that's stopping you from getting what you want. You've tried to control it by not saying anything about whatever it was that happened in the past. Could have been the distant past, but just recently those secrets are prominent, as you would say. But why I'm still looking onto that dead leaf thing, I don't know why. I'm just hoping that it isn't what I said it was, but it represents something that may have died, somebody or something that may have died, and you've kept it secret because you want to, maybe you want to think that it's still alive, or in the sense you want others to think that it's still alive. If it isn't what we said before, what else could it be? Just to explore other options in order to try and maybe provide insight, guidance, or whatever you want to call it there. No, I'm sorry, I'm still going with the first, and I shouldn't really. But I'm going to do, because I shouldn't, because, well, you only know what you should because you know what you shouldn't, and of course it's like knowing what black is if you don't know what white is. You don't know what black is, do you? But in this particular case, it's easy to say, well, I've seen both sides of it, but nevertheless notice here, well, it's just the way the light's shining on the card, but they are all very dark energies anyway here, and that's what we use, the spirits there. Notice the bird people there, of course, they carry the messages from the heavens to the earth, so they are believed to carry the guidance. There's guidance, although you feel trapped and confined by whatever it is that's interfering in your life right now. If only I could just have a lover or just somebody to share it with, but I have to keep it to myself and bottle it up. Is that what it is? I don't know. Provides more questions than answers, but let's have a look at what is just around the corner in the immediate future, and let's we'll pull this, just draw it out here nice and slowly, just out of respect for the spirit, out of respect for your good self that we shuffled on behalf of, and we'll just flip the card nice and slowly, nice and steadily, not to disturb the energy, as we've said. Notice there we've got an ace, the ace of coins. Notice that, of course, coins or discs, as Crowley calls it. Coins is of course to do with the element of earth, and that's got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn going on, which your sign is Capricorn, isn't it? So maybe the Capricorn energy may favour you between now and this time next month or thereabouts. When the moon is at the phase that it is now, when it returns back to that phase, often in a cycle called a moonth, which is just that sort of period. Maybe between now and the next new moon, probably. You can initiate on the 4th of May, I suppose, but by the 3rd of June, then what happens then, I don't know. In this particular case, notice they're all minor arcana energies, of course. With a major arcana energy, they'd be more permanent and you wouldn't have power to change anything. You'd still have decisions, you'd still be able to make choices and decisions on how you dealt with it, but you've been given power to change it throughout. Crow is saying that you've had power to change it, the secrets, you could have opened up and spoken about it, and but no, I couldn't find anybody. I couldn't find a lover to share it with. Is it a lover that you should be sharing it with, or is it just anybody who will listen? Maybe this is the thing. You're just after a listening ear more than anything, and really you think it's a lover that's the answer, when maybe it might not be. I don't know, but certainly you feel as though there's been interference, in the sense you've been trapped and confined in the situation. You feel as if something is interfering in that sense and stopping you, challenging your communications, the way you collect knowledge, but the way more you express it, in the sense of through your transmissive powers, through your creativity, and then of course movement of the air and communication through the air. The sword is a two-edged sword, so when it goes one way it'll come back again, so you have to be careful about that, don't you? Of course. But either way, what challenge, as you would say, is happening here? A challenge to communicate. Maybe that's the prison that you find yourself in. The 8 of the challenge there, being imprisoned in some situation, or some not situation, scenario, but in some form of what's the word? Not limbo or predicament. I don't know what word I'm looking for here. But it's that sort of a situation where you're stuck and you just don't know which way to turn. And you think maybe a lover is the answer. But of course, the immediate future with the ace of coins there, bringing wealth and a rising of some form or other. Wealth, of course, earthly wealth, and not necessarily money, is it? It can be, but it's more of an earthly arising. Maybe. Of course, if it's from a love angle, as you could call it, it could simply be a fleshly. We are of the earth, we come from the earth, and it could be a fleshly thing, a fleshly arising in some way, shape or form there. And a wealth of fleshly abundance in some way, but it's a new beginning. Of course, the ace is one, isn't it? So you could say it's the fiery part of earth, couldn't you? In a sense, it's the one of, or because remember it's fire, so it's the spiritual essence of the physical vehicle, isn't it? And it's that there is a new earthly beginning coming, a new fleshly beginning even. But if it's a fleshly thing, is it just out of pure lust, or is the personality and feeling behind it and love, or is it just whatever this dead leaf represents there? And I'm still looking on. I'm going back to that again. Yeah, just have to let me off on this score, but it's not so much carrying on through to there, but we do not forget. Nobody forgets, but life is for the living, isn't it? And maybe you're trapped in that sort of dilemma that life is for the living, not the dead. But nevertheless, while I'm trapped in the job that I'm in the work that I'm helping the environment to pump shit in the atmosphere. Sorry, okay, you drive coal wagons for a living or whatever. But I just had to get that one out, I'm sorry. But either way, whatever you're doing there, you're earning your keep, and it's not that's the issue. The issue is you've got nobody to share it with, and this is Yes, there will be something coming along from an earthly point of view, even a fleshly point of view. If we look at it from the relationship angle, because you've asked that question, we can relate or connect the meanings of the cards to that that question in the positions that they're in. But it's very much trying to control things, and of course the Taurus, of course, notice the Taurus energy there. If Taurus doesn't get what she wants, she can be like a raging bull and go in like a bull at a gate, literally a bull in a china shop, hell for leather. And of course when fools rush in where wise men fear to tread, as the saying goes there, doesn't it? But nevertheless, what does that arising represent? What does it entail between now and this time next month? That is where the shadow is cast over just for now, Sharni. So let's just leave it at that, and let sleeping dogs lie just for now. But for now, the truth has spoken through these cards. Blessed be to the crow, the carrier of souls from darkness into light.